I just want to watch World Fun.
Jeff Nails another draft day.
Nailed
Makes
it.
top 5 has 98.
I got
Mason
more.
just loves him some Kevin James.
Fucking Kevin James.
It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's the history of bad. LaCroix. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
This episode of Hobie is sponsored by Hello Jeff. Save 20% off your first meal box with promo code HobiePod.
Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe anything that we say on the history of bad ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the history of bad ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 465. I think I might have had a stroke.
Is it 460? Yeah, 465.
465. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Blake.
I'm Jim.
Hey, Blake's back. Welcome, Blake.
Thank you.
I mean, BlakeBot has been trying to take up your spot, but he's been failing pretty miserably.
He talked a really good time last week about Rings of Power and how much he loved it.
That's a good thing to hear. I'm glad to know that I haven't yet been replaced by Blake Bot.
He talked fan fiction. He loves the sex scenes in Rings of Power.
I hate him already.
He writes his own.
Yes, he writes his own. Is there sex scenes in Rings of Power?
No.
Between an Ent and a dwarf?
Not yet.
Okay.
That could be season 2. Who knows?
Because I'll be honest, if you can't let an Ent and a dwarf have fun, there's something wrong in this world.
You meant Ents and Hobbits.
Whatever.
Yes. So they're both short people.
Ents? Not short.
Ents are not
No,
short.
I'm talking about dwarves and hobbits.
Yeah, dwarves are in Dungeons
Correct.
and Dragons?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
Hobbits
and,
are...
and the Rings of Power.
Then why did you correct me? It's not a hobbit. It's a dwarf, right?
Well,
But
there
it
are
was,
hobbits.
it was more hobbits with the Ents in
Time out.
Lord of the Rings, not dwarves.
Better question. What's the difference between a dwarf and a hobbit?
A lot.
Obviously not.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
a lot.
There's a lot.
What's the difference? Give me two things.
Dwarfs are probably, they're stouter, they're thicker, and
Okay.
taller.
Okay.
Hobbits are probably only like 3 feet tall. Hairy feet.
Look like young children.
Yeah.
Don't dwarves have those axes that are more battle prone?
Yes.
Could be.
Okay.
Well, you can... the stereotypical dwarf, always walks around with an axe or a hammer.
Give me props on that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And they usually sound like Scottish accents.
If it's not Scottish.
For some reason, they make dwarves sound Scottish.
Aye, what you doing with ye?
That was
I
your
saw something-
Scottish?
Yes.
I saw something where someone's like, I'm going to make my dwarf have an Alabama accent.
Yeah.
Okay. Dwarf.
Just look at the pictures Jim's showing me. I like the dwarf
That's
better.
right.
Aren't you a dwarf in the Dungeons and Dragons?
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, I've had a dwarf character before, but
What was his name?
her name was Inga
Oh. Why Inga?
because it sounded Scandinavian.
Okay.
His current character is a half-elf named Kevin James.
Yes, I knew the
Yes.
Kevin James one.
And he
Yes.
looks exactly like Kevin James.
It's amazing.
It is.
It is. Wow.
Yeah. With the expectation that eventually one day you'll join the campaign, and then you can kill Kevin James.
My thought is that if I was making a character in this D&D game that you guys have, it would probably be like a gummy bear, but like with axes and swords.
No.
I think why?
Actually, that's a good question. What character would Jason be in D&D?
Not be, just make. Create.
No.
Oh.
What character would you be in
If
D&D?
Jason himself
Yes.
was teleported into D&D world.
I would
Correct.
cry. A bard.
He would be a really poor bard. That's what I was going to say, a bard.
I would be a bard.
He would
A
be
bard.
singing Bon Jovi.
A bard with charisma negatives and penalties.
Bard.
I feel like you're mocking me.
I think you're right.
I'm going to do an impression.
You know what?
I'm Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Number one selling costume in Canada this Halloween season.
No, I'm your kobold king.
Hey, remember
I can
when
speak-
I told you I would kill you last?
I can speak Draconian. Ars Faxus Britannicus
What's that all about?
Rex.
Manning?
I have no idea. I don't know what. I don't speak Draconian. Fuck.
No, he wouldn't be a bard.
Okay.
No, I think he would be a bard. He'd be the worst bard.
Well, that's the worst bard. Isn't really a bard though.
Who stabs you in the
but
back?
it would be. I think it would be great.
Who's what?
Who can stab you in the back?
It'd be a
No, those
rogue.
rogues usually.
Okay, I'll be a
Anybody
rogue.
can stab you in the back.
But you're
literally.
not stealthy enough.
No, I would just be obvious.
Yeah, so
Yes,
you wouldn't be
yeah.
a rogue.
So I guess I would stab you in the front.
Honestly, I'm thinking you would be like an artificer,
What is that?
somebody who builds things to do his magic for him.
But
I can't build
you
anything.
can't put stickers on things.
Oh, you're right. No, you would be
Yeah.
a terrible artificer. You
No.
can't even put stickers on right.
He'd be multi-classed in all of these.
Yes. One level in each.
Could I get glue? Could that be one of my things I get to build things?
No, but you could buy some sticky substances.
Check your animal handling. I got a horse.
I don't know what it
I
is.
failed. You got glue.
I feel like I'm being mocked.
Nope, not at all.
No,
And I feel like I'm being mocked by D&D people. That makes it worse.
your next week's Twitter poll could be, if Jason played D&D, what character would
Doing
he
it
be?
right now.
You can
Doing it right now.
Well, we'd have to pick some for you though for percentages for voting on. We had Bard, we had shitty Bard, crappy Rogue,
Terrible artificer.
terrible Artificer. What would be and just NPC?
NPC. Yes.
Radish farmer.
How do you spell that one? Abishar? What is that?
Artificer.
How do you spell that?
ARTI FI Sir.
Ding.
Okay.
He's going to be Jason, the claims adjuster.
NPC, you said?
NPC.
I got a sucky bard because I don't want to put cuss words on Twitter and get banned.
Oh.
Terrible rogue.
No. Elon owns it now. You don't have to worry.
Oh, that's fine. We'll be fine. You know what? I like how all the celebrities are leaving Twitter. Who cares?
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I heard those are all the ones that also said they were moving to Canada.
Yeah, they didn't do it.
Yeah,
Why
they didn't do that either.
why is Lena Dunham still here? You said Canada, Dunham.
Can't we export you?
You gave people incentive to vote, and then you didn't follow through with it.
Hey, just like politicians.
I know. They should be held up to their promises.
I'm looking at you, Dunham. Okay, so sucky bard, terrible rogue, artificer,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
and a NPC.
Horrible
Yeah.
artificer.
Horrible Artificer.
Okay.
Or you should say incompetent Artificer.
Incompetent. I like it. That's better.
Yeah. You're going to have to look up incompetent.
Spell check got it. We're fine.
Did it get artificer?
It didn't say it's a misspelling. So I guess we're going with it.
Oh, I'm sure it's not right, but
Incompetent Artifactor.
before you do it,
I'll check it. I got it.
ARTIFICIER.
CER.
Yeah, CER. Okay.
There you go.
So I can pull up my D&D Beyond and find out if you really want.
There it is. I got it. Okay. Moving on. Anyways,
Awesome.
no intern this week. That's why it says story time. It should say the week that was, Jim, right?
Yeah, but the intern, he's
Cabin boy.
cabin boy or
What's that? Jack Sparrow?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow is what his new title was.
Jack Sparrow isn't here, so we have story time.
Speaking of Jack Sparrow, because we're sponsored by the Cincinnati Comic Expo, September 22nd through 24th, 2023. Get your tickets in like 3 months.
So rumors that Johnny Depp will not be there.
He might. Andrew, the owner, one of the owners, he went to Johnny Depp's concert when they were when he was here a couple weeks ago.
I didn't know he was here in concert.
And I said, why? Why would you do that? And he's like, I like Johnny Depp. I think he would put on a good show.
Did he?
He said it was really well done.
Okay.
He said some of the people there were a little weird. Like there was a couple women
Like
that
the
kept
band?
No.
A couple people shit in his bed.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I want to see what his musical act is. He was with somebody too.
I had one of my neighbors several years ago in my old neighborhood hired a Jack Sparrow impersonator.
Why?
It turned out it was just Keith Richards.
Yeah, no, it was great actually.
He was just walking.
No, it was. He was really good, by the way.
But what
because
does
I
he do?
got out of my car and I parked, and this
Was
guy
he parked in your car?
No, I got out of my car. I parked in the driveway because
Okay.
And there was a boat in the neighbor's yard.
yeah. And this guy's walking down the sidewalk, and he's like, "Excuse me, sir." He's like, I'm like, "Dude, this looks like Jack Sparrow." And he's like, can you tell me the address of whatever is that? I'm like, yeah, it's my neighbor. He's right there. And then the guy has Jack Sparrow proceeded to have a conversation with me for the next 10 minutes. I was like, dude, you're really good, man.
But why? Why did he hire him?
Why not? If you're having a party, bring a Jack Sparrow impersonator in. It was awesome.
I mean, you
The guy
can't
was
argue with
funny.
that.
The next party I have in like 7 years, I would not be hiring a Jack. Well, by then,
Well,
probably
if it's an adult party, you're not going to hire a clown.
why would you hire?
if it's not that kind of party.
Why would you hire anybody?
Because that's what people do, Jason.
Do they?
Yes.
I keep picturing Benjamin Franklin from The Office for
Yes. You can hire
bachelorette
Benjamin
party.
Franklin for the bachelorette party if you like. No, it was really good. I mean, the guy was spot on. He looked like him. He acted like him. He talked like him. He walked like him.
I'm not
as
doubting-
far as I know, it probably could have been fucking Johnny Depp. Moonlighting as Jack Sparrow impersonator.
He does come to children's hospitals a lot.
He could have been. He could have been in town for that.
So what does he do the whole time? Did he just walk around talking to people?
Probably
He
acts.
drank all the rum.
Probably drinks all the rum and makes passes at all the women. I don't know.
I think my comment would be like, he comes up to me, I'd be like, get the hell away from me. Who are you? Why do I want to talk to you?
But why's the rum gone?
I don't know, sir. You've asked that for 16 times in the last 30 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the worst pirate I ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's like hiring a bartender dressed as Jesus. Can you give me some more wine?
That would be good. See, I would like
you go.
that.
Yeah.
I dressed up as Jesus one year for Halloween at the bar.
As long as he doesn't bleed everywhere.
Wow.
Oh, too soon. My bad.
How many Mary Magdalenes had you, Alfred?
Let me give you some Julius Caesar jokes instead. Is that better?
Well,
Pontius Pilate jokes in me.
Yeah, there you go.
looks like all the right wing Catholics are now turning off our show.
What are you talking about? We made fun of Lena Dunham.
Yeah, but then you made fun of Jesus.
Son of a bitch. We're down to Mississippi that likes us.
His first miracle, water to
Mississippi don't
wine.
like
How can you
us.
argue
True.
that?
They
How
don't
can
have
you argue
electricity
that?
to listen.
Do you ever
Well,
see
that
that?
one guy turned us off from Mississippi now.
Do you ever see that skit? When Jesus turns water to wine and they all start drinking, they're like, did you have to do Merlot? Can you try a little Pinot Noir? He's like, no. Can you do a little Syrah? No. Can you do it? He's like, look, I made wine.
I made it.
Like,
Hey, according to the Bible, it was better than what was served before.
I do like the Jesus
Yeah,
skit.
it was not of a box.
I do like the Jesus skit on Saturday Night
Jesus,
Live.
next time, can you do a Cabernet Sauvignon, please?
You
He's
get
like,
Boone's Farm and like it.
A 1976, maybe. I do like the Jesus skit on Saturday Night Live a couple years ago when he was going against Tim Tebow.
You mean a 76 BC? Can you do a 76 BC, Jesus, next time, please?
It was before I was born. When
go
Tim
ahead.
Tebow is going against New England, and he's like, "Well, I got the faith of God in him," and Jesus is like, "Not so quick. I'm still taking the Patriots." Sorry, Tim. Sorry, Tim. That's not happening. We won't go into it, but congrats on your Browns. They didn't suck for a week.
I'm surprised. I was actually at Halloween at my my daughter and son-in-law's, with my grandson. They dressed him up as little Joe Burrow.
Oh,
So they had him in like a black turtleneck outfit with,
So it was their
with the
fault.
medallion. With the medallion.
Yeah.
And they actually had glasses for him too. And then my son-in-law was other Joe Burrow, and my
coat?
daughter was and she was like female Joe Burrow. So they're all like Joe Burrows. That was the theme. And so I
So they
stayed there.
sapped all his power.
Possibly. Well, no, actually, what sapped all his power was his shitty costume that he walked into the.
What did he walk into?
To the
I
stage.
didn't see
He
it.
just wore a T-shirt that said "boo,"
Eh.
and I was like, "Boo" as in ghost, but no, he meant boo.
Oh. Maybe he was like Medea.
Yeah, I thought he meant boo.
No, as in boo. Boo.
Hey, Jeff. Boo.
See, now Myles Garrett showed up as Vecna, and he was
Yes.
that night on the field. So when it comes to Halloween costumes, if you're playing on Halloween, by the way, there's nothing better in the NFL, Monday Night Football on Halloween. There's only two teams that should be playing, and that is the Browns and the Bengals.
You could get away
That's it.
with Denver.
No.
They got orange in their colors.
No. Because the Browns brought out their pumpkin uniforms, which was the brown jerseys and the horrible orange pants. That we call them the pumpkin outfits.
Oh, the
and then, of
Bears
course,
were
because
all
they were
orange, too.
Paul Brown, of course, they're Paul Brown, the Bengals, and the same thing with the similar colors and all that kind of stuff.
I will say...
And the Paul Brown connection for both teams, et cetera, et cetera.
My daughter got up around 10 o'clock, and I think at that point it was 8-0.
Yeah.
And maybe a little less, 9:30 or so. And she's like, she wasn't feeling the best. She's like, do you mind, Dad, can you lay in my bed with me? I was like, yeah, it's fine. So I fall asleep, and I wake up at 11:30, and I looked out, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
That Jason
Yeah.
falling asleep and they lost all their.
No.
See, what happened is my son-in-law is a big Bengals fan, and he had his friends there too. And so this is the first time we did a Bengals Brown things together. And at halftime, they announced that I could leave now. But I wasn't, I was like, look, I'm like, you don't understand. When the fourth quarter comes around, you guys have a chance to win. Trust me. I'm a Browns
not the
fan.
Ravens.
Trust me. And then the funny part was like, well, we had to leave anyway so I can get home. But when I got home, I'm listening on the radio. It was like 3 straight touchdowns. And then I text him again, hey, can we do a Google Meet so we can watch together online?
Speak of...
And he said, I went to bed after the third quarter. I said, that was a wise choice.
Speaking of good costumes, last night,
Yeah.
we had like 500 kids here.
Good.
In a subdivision in that. There was one of my favorites. One was a dad was bringing his son around who was maybe like 1.5 years, 2 years old, just starting to walk. He was dressed as Dwight Schrute. And he had the hair even parted. Oh, awesome. He had the outfit. He had the Dwight name tag.
Yeah.
Perfect. The kid got extra.
Was he
paid.
carrying Beats?
He was not carrying Beats on it.
That's good.
I was dressed as Jason Voorhees to scare kids.
Yes.
Which was kind of fun because kids just ran past it like, nope, we're not doing it. I had an Elsa that come up to me, and she's like, I'm just going to freeze you. And she tried to freeze me. Repeatedly. She goes, shoop, you're frozen. I was like, well done. So
That's good.
Extra candy for you.
Yes.
That's good. I like kids. I like kids that do their costumes and stuff. There was a preteen boy last night when he came up, and he was wearing a shark outfit, and I didn't see he had boxing gloves too. Mm-hmm. So I was like, land shark. And of course, people our age
Get it.
got the joke, and he's like, I'm baby shark.
Why you have boxing gloves on?
Sorry. Yeah, I was like, well, you got boxing gloves on. I'll knock people out. I'm like,
Is that what Baby Shark?
I don't think Baby Shark does that.
okay.
That's
I was like,
fun.
just stick with the land shark, kid.
I thought it was Left Shark.
Yeah, exactly.
there was a kid that was dressed as this giant Among Us inflatable purple one. That was pretty good. Like, he didn't have any arms to get out, so his mom had to carry the bag behind him. That was pretty good, though. I like that one. That was
good.
That was pretty clever.
That's cool.
Jim, what'd you dress up as?
Nothing.
Okay, so birthday suit.
Yes.
Okay, well that answers the question from last week. So
At the bar? Birthday suit at the bar? I mean, you can get away with it because you got the bar in the way.
Well, at the bar,
People jump over and
at
lean
the
and take
bar
a
last
look.
night, we had our Halloween party / pajama jam.
Ooh,
So I just wore what I sleep in.
yeah.
which is your daily outfit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like the Johnny Depp concert in Cincinnati, Jeff Beck was there. That was his part.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I had read something about Jeff Beck. with
Jeff
him,
Beck
yeah.
and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. We can go into other things, but Twitter poll of the week.
Well, can I bring something up
Sure.
about the value of playing video games?
Yes.
This is pretty interesting. I'm not sure. I was going to share this story with you guys, but I figured I'd just talk about it real quick in story time because, we're good for the next 20, 30 minutes, right?
Yes, sure,
story time.
whatever.
Yeah. NASCAR.
Nope. Next.
Meow.
No, seriously. Did you guys
Boom.
see the
Turn left.
story about the race this weekend?
Meow.
Ross Chastain propelled himself into second place and into the finals, a point race to win the championship
Like the overall
by
championship?
doing a move with his car.
Oh, yeah.
That he learned in NASCAR 2005 on GameCube.
Go ahead and tell him what he did.
Yeah, he was coming around. He learned something in GameCube playing it 17 years ago, where you're something where you're doing something goofy. You're hugging the wall on the outside, and you flip it down in the fifth gear. And I don't know how the physics work with it, with the wall and the wind room. But if you see the video of it, you could see him just like come around and go. You see him. He's almost hitting the wall, but you can see like smoke coming out of his car where he's jamming the gears and go forward. And he literally propels himself into second place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you could see him hit the first place car in the back.
Yeah.
Because he went so fast and he won. He's like, where did you learn that move? And he's like, I learned that on GameCube, NASCAR 2005, and I figured to try it just now. But they're talking about...
Because he was in like 15th place at one point. And then I did see that. And it looks like
He was just on the wall.
just hugging on the wall.
it looks like a CGI. Like it did not look real.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
When he pops the gears, you can see the smoke coming off from the car and the engine or whatever, the tires. And they're talking about, if you don't believe this, read some of the comments. So they went and they posted a number of the comments of like the pit crews and other drivers that watched it happen in real time. They're like, holy crap, what did he just do? It's like, oh my God, what the hell? It was like, that was genius. What did he do? And everybody's like, where did you learn? He's like, GameCube to NASCAR 2005. So that brings a good question. What other things and tricks do you learn in video games that you can actually use in real life?
That there's a golden gun that you can shoot, and it
Yes.
just goes through everybody and kills them all.
You have to look where the sun highlights doors and walls because there's something could be secret there.
Yes.
It could be treasure.
Yeah, I've learned that when you're looking at a wall and there's something different in the brick pattern, that's where you hit to get the secret treasure.
That's a good one.
That's where you start pressing the bricks. Yeah. I mean, think about it. But
If there's an overly attractive female in the game that's hitting on you, she's a villain. That's also in movies too, but also in video games.
Even in real life.
Yeah.
well, in real life, she has an STD.
If you die, all you have to do is go to the clinic and you're back.
Or as we used to say in the military, if she's a 10 and you're not, she's a Russian spy.
Wow.
No, but seriously, you think about this. He's on the track, and this is a game. A move that he learned in a video game on GameCube, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No one
17
ever
years
talks
ago.
good about GameCube. Nobody liked the GameCube.
17 years ago, and he does. I mean, I know when I'm in a swamp, all I have to do is run and jump on the alligator heads.
That's true.
Where the eyes are, and I can get across.
Yes.
Yeah, I learned that from Pitfall.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also learned that if you just hold a balloon in Pitfall 2, in real life, you hold a balloon, it floats you all the way up to the top of a cave. So I learned that.
I've learned that if you completely suck, they'll bury you in a desert in Arizona.
That's true. That is true. I learned basically that you have to get all the keys in a dungeon to get through and get past the dragon. Don't forget that. And that there's a secret lower level in that game.
Yeah, you're correct. You're talking about the Atari.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The first Easter egg.
I also know that you can fly a jet on a river and blow up barges without any issues.
You're right. I also learned when you're jumping.
You have to stay over the river. Once you get over the banks, you'll blow up.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I also learned if you see turtles, you need to jump on top of them.
Yep.
And kick them one way or the other.
Yep.
And if there's giant mushrooms, eat them.
I remember that the wizard, if he's hungry, you should feed him. Make sure you do that.
Wizard needs food.
Make sure you do that. And also, if anyone ever asks you to take part in a Street Fighter competition, don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if your first opponent's a green guy. Don't do that. He has electric.
What they would do is they'd ask me to take part in a Street Fighter competition, and then I'd agree to do it, and then I'd scold them because they're doing Street Fighter 2, and they didn't say that.
Oh, that's true.
I'm doing a side scroller, not a fight game.
Which is a horrible game.
See.
That is a very bad game. Okay. Moving on. Let's see here. We had Poll of the Week at Bad Ideas Podcast. We had, what is Tim Curry's best film? We had Clue, Rocky Horror Picture Show, It, the miniseries, and just for everything I learned from movies, Congo, where you are the endangered species. In last place, It, the miniseries, with 9% of the vote. In third place, Congo, with, how is that? Tim Curry, eats food, bread throughout the whole thing.
Terrible movie.
Great film.
But, the sad part is if you go to IMDb.com, known for,
Yeah.
Congo's right there, unfortunately.
It is. Home Alone 2 was up there, too, but I was like,
I think that
You-
might be done by
Yeah.
whichever did the most money at the box office.
Oh, yeah.
something,
Oh,
or-
God, Congo made money.
I'm disappointed you left Legend off of this list.
Legend, a couple people did ask me for
Yeah.
Legend.
They wrote in.
Yep.
Yeah, write-ins. But, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the IMDb.com stuff, I didn't realize how prolific of a voice actor he was.
I didn't realize that either.
I knew he was a voice actor, but I didn't know he was that prolific.
Well, you knew he was a voice actor because you watched the, was it Rugrats? No, not Rugrats. Wild Thornberries.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's amazing. I mean, he's got a great voice. And obviously, it's incredible in his list of voice actor.
Wasn't he in the TV show, too?
Yeah, he's been
I
on
don't-
lots of TV shows as guest
Wasn't he,
appearances. and et
didn't he,
cetera.
star in a hotel one? I thought he did. After Home Alone 2, they gave him a thing as a guy in charge of a hotel.
Me not know. You're not
That
confusing
doesn't sound
Faulty
familiar.
Towers, right?
No, it's not
John
Faulty
Cleese.
Towers.
He has 240 credits to his
Wow.
name.
But how many of those are movies versus voice acting? I mean, that'd be a great breakdown. If the intern was here, you can count for it.
212. No. And winning.
I'm sorry, if the cabin boy was here.
That's-
Wait,
Jack
hold on.
Sparrow.
If Jack Sparrow was here.
No, he's at your neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show had 48% of the vote to Clue's 30% of the vote.
So 70% of the people voting were wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Well,
much.
I was going to vote for his, it's not movie or film, but his role in the show Psych.
Oh, yeah, he was on that.
As
yeah.
Nigel St. Nigel.
Tom Arnold was in that, too.
Yes.
I interviewed him.
Same episode?
No, I interviewed him.
And you didn't ask about Psych.
I don't know if I was able to ask many questions with Tom. He was a good speaker.
Yeah, he pretty much kept it going himself.
How you doing, Tom? Great. Moving on. Okay, well, I guess I'm done. I'm just going to sit here.
And scene.
And scene.
And we're out of time.
Thanks, everyone.
He was in Family Affair television show, 15 episodes, as Mr. Giles French.
Family
2002,
Affair.
2003, the
Hey,
remake.
The remake?
They did a
Yeah, I was going
remake
to say.
of
They
Family
did-
Affair?
was that
the original
Curry?
Family
That might have been on
Affair.
CW.
Why do I not remember that?
I
don't
do
remember
remember
that.
that
Curry
now.
and Family Affair going,
No, yeah.
combined? I should have known about that.
Yeah, man. Anyways, moving on. Let's see here. Anybody watch anything real quick this week?
Did I watch anything real quick?
No, not real quick, but did you watch anything?
No.
Okay.
Well, you guys already talked about stuff, and I sent you things in
Yes.
about,
Andor,
Rings
I'm
of
on board
Power.
with you.
Yeah.
We're not caught
Andor.
up yet. We're not. We got one episode. I think they just released a new episode.
Yeah, every
watch it.
Wednesday.
Yeah. I think we're
Yeah.
one episode behind. Really enjoying it.
It is good. And the thing is, I was watching it, and I made fun of it for the past year
Yeah.
on this podcast. And so I started watching, and I'm like, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's different.
it's different. I think it, as my one brother-in-law, Corey, Coco, he said, is like, what's good about it is it actually reflects the world, what you would actually believe it to be, or what you actually thought it would be. It's kind of like, it's this advanced, and it goes from the advanced technological society to this horrible, grungy, dirty,
underbelly.
dystopia underbelly to, I love the political thing with the Mon Mothma.
Yes.
And her hosting of the party, because she's part of the rebellion. All right, spoiler alert, if
Yeah.
you haven't watched it yet, she's part of the rebellion, and so she's doing these political ties and moving money around, and with her the part. I'm not going to spoil everything,
Her old high school friend.
Her whole high school friend. That whole scene where she's talking to him is like, oh, yes, and my husband, he can't be trusted. Do not say anything to him. She's like, I'm looking at somebody to run the foundation because I need access to money and move it. And, you know, she's walking around and people come and she's like, you know, smile. Yeah. And she goes on and continue talking about the, you know, basically subterfuge. And he's sitting there going, and when he starts getting this, she's like, smile. You know, I thought that whole episode where she's talking to him and doing those things where people come around, oh, yes, hi, how's it going? I thought it was great.
So it's funny with her.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously in the future movies.
Yeah. She's kind of like the political side of the rebellion.
Correct.
Compared to the other factions.
I didn't catch her name in the first time they showed her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did say it or maybe I just missed it. And then when she came on, and I think it was 2 episodes ago, and I was like, oh, shit. That's Mon Mothra. I was like, no way. Yeah. And then they
call her Mon Mothra.
Yes, I did call her Mon Mothra.
Mothra.
She turns into a giant moth.
She came to see Ghidra. She goes to see Ghidra for her connection.
She was in a cocoon for a while, Jeff. Okay, leave her alone.
I'm looking for Gojira.
Her first words were, Mon Mothma.
Yeah. When she came out, I was like, oh my God, that's her. And I'm hitting my oldest son. And he's like, calm down. I was like, no, oh my gosh, I got it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying it, though.
The latest scene, the latest episode, and I won't spoil it for you, he's got Andy Serkis in it. And it's pretty funny. As soon as I saw him, like, I know who that is. And I had to sit there and think for a while. And, you know, the jokes are out there. It's like, the reason you don't recognize him immediately is because he's playing himself. He's playing without any motion detection CGI stuff.
So he's not supposed to be Snape?
No, Snoke.
Oh,
Snooki.
Yeah,
Snooki.
That was
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, that was people who went to the episodes to look at the credits and saw his name in there. Is like, oh my God, they're going to bring Snoke in and they're going to tie it into the whatever. They're like, shut the fuck up.
He's just playing himself.
Yeah, if they do this shit, well, he's playing a different character.
No, he's actually playing Andy Serkis.
He's playing Andy Serkis. Like, what am I doing? Like in that commercial. I'm a space alien. I'm waving my arms. I'm climbing a wall. And your ping pongs are.
Anybody want to star in the Jungle Book? I'm directing it. We're good now. We're good, Andy.
Yeah. But the other thing that I think is good about Andor is the same thing that I thought about Rogue One. It's like you're not messing with beloved known characters that people have known for 50 fucking years, and you don't fuck with that, and it gives you a clean slate. And the only thing I did have a joke about before the start, I was like, oh, he's got plot armor. But, you know, as you were talking about episode 3 that you like so well, when a lot of the action started, or episode 4. Yeah, the 4 when they're actually doing doing the mission. I was like, I actually remind myself that he actually survives.
Yes,
they were doing such a good job with that. Yeah. And with how that episode ends too, with the other rebel and they're out there trying at the base at the undisclosed doctor location that they had for him. And I was like, holy crap, what are you going to do?
I was not expecting that.
Neither did I until that came out of the blue, and I'm like, dude, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
You know, it was good. I like it, and
it's much better than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I did
not like Kenobi much at all.
Didn't get past the second episode, but I will probably try to go back and.
I was very disappointed there was a lack of butcher shops in this one in the middle of the desert. Andor was not cutting up meat in unsanitary conditions.
That's what makes a good space movie.
Butcher shops?
Butcher shop.
Yep.
Desert butcher shops.
Butcher shops and slicing meat and putting it in your pocket for later.
Yes. Nobody notices.
Nobody knows.
Hey, that guy, though. We're going to kill that guy. What? Yeah. I have a kid. Well, Kenobi, you're fine. Go get your meat.
We're here for all the Jedi hiding out. There's one. He runs away. That was the man we were talking about. We will kill him.
You know what? Let's not go after him.
Let's not go after him.
But he's stuck in a dead end. No, he's fine. He's too far away. Too far away.
Never mind.
Number 2. Go ahead and kill me now.
Don't put that in the report.
But you know what? Speaking of putting that in the report, what's his name? The corporate police guy.
Yeah.
And how he gets to the Bureau of Facts and Data or whatever.
He's a paper pusher now.
And they pull up the way they just bring him in, and he's looking at the endless rows of cubicles,
Yes.
space cubicles, I'll call them.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there with the look on their face. Yeah, here you go. This is your office.
He goes from
Here's
like
your
second in
computer.
command on the security force on the planet to
The
here you go.
Bureau of Statistics and whatever.
That's my
facts.
stapler. Give me the
Yeah.
back.
And the fact is, and they play it so well because he just sits down there and he looks over and he's like in a row of like 1,000.
Well, because the one character is in the prison,
Yeah.
and so is he. Like the symbolism
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, you're right. The
parallels,
duality.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. It is. That's a good point. I never thought about that to
Yeah.
that point. But yeah, but now you're like, okay, how's he going to get out of here? And now that they're, he's got two factions looking
Yeah.
after him now. I don't want to spoil it if you
Correct.
haven't watched it, but
It's really well done. I've enjoyed it.
I love it. Tell you the truth, I almost think it's my favorite. It's beating The Mandalorian.
Did you see that George Lucas is directing the sequel to Rogue One?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a
joke.
meme online.
I saw that joke. Yeah, but you're right, Jason. You mentioned it being like a slow burn. And it's
is.
not like jump in, action, action, action. There's no space moped
Correct.
chase scenes through Tatooine.
We even-
for this stuff, but it's good. I love.
We even
way
see
it's
the
going.
first Star Wars Gentleman's Club. I'm like, what is this?
Well, yeah, it starts out. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah.
I'm like, okay. It was different. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's more. I think it's more adult themed too.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Jim?
I'm going to answer Jason's question. Earlier.
What's that?
Tim Curry was in the show Over the Top in 1987, where he loses his job and decides to crash with his ex-wife at their Manhattan hotel.
See? I knew there was a hotel somewhere.
It stars Tim Curry, Annie Potts,
Annie Potts.
Luke Tarsitano,
Annie Potts.
Steve Carell,
Whoa. What?
Marla Sokoloff, John O'Hurley, Liz Torres, Dennis Otway, Danny Strong, Alan Murray, Natanya Ross, Barry Gordon, Allison Reed, Del Harris, John Ritter, Ian Abercrombie, Stephen Bean, Lou Felder, and Grace Zabriskie.
That's like the pure late 80s, early 90s cast you could get. Annie Potts.
Annie Potts, and then I was just, when I pulled it up on IMDb, they had some pictures, and the first picture that popped up, I'm like, holy crap, that's Steve Carell in the background.
Is Annie Potts, did she pass away?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
But it's interesting. I saw an interesting.
Doing young Sheldon.
Okay.
Yeah, the grandma, young
That's
Shelton. Because I watched the first episode ever for like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my god, is that Annie Potts? She doesn't sound like Annie Potts. But I saw an interesting thing or news thing about Annie Potts. Like in her younger days, she dated somebody hugely fucking popular.
Ronald Reagan.
No, it's like another Brad Pitt like connection kind of thing, like with January Jones and Brad Pitt or something like that. And
George
they showed
Stephanopoulos.
they showed a picture of her. I'm like, holy crap, that's Annie Potts.
Wow.
I
Annie
mean-
Potts was always attractive.
I mean, young and attractive.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just remember her from Ghostbusters to start off and Pretty in Pink.
Oh, gosh, she wasn't pretty in pink, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to let you know, the poll.
Designing women.
Ugh.
Designing women. Yeah, that's right.
Sucky Bard is winning so far.
Oh, by what? One vote to no vote to no vote.
One
to no
vote to nothing. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. Nothing. There you go.
Let's get some listener feedback in here.
You know what that sound is. Time for the bomb listener feedback. Brought to you this week by Jim's No Nut November care packages. If you email...
Hello, Jeff.
That's right. If you email Hello Jeff, you can get a special bundle discount. I believe the first week of the care package for No Nut November and Jim's No Nut November package is a cock ring.
Oh. What is the Hello Jeff this week?
Is it a magic cock ring?
Yes.
It's like the amazing Technicolor coat.
It keeps you from ejaculating.
Moving on, what's the Hello Jeff this month?
Hello Jeff this month is the ingredients to make your own candy corn melt.
Oh.
You get
Explain what a candy corn melt is.
It's a sandwich, so you get bread, you'll get cheese and candy corn.
And you just melt it together.
You melt the cheese over the candy corn sandwich. I mean,
That sounds horrible.
to each their own.
Okay. Is it candy corn from this year or last year? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
There's candy corn wherever we found it.
Gotcha.
Dumpster.
Garbage.
But
usually grandma's garbage.
but the cock ring is sterile.
Oh,
It comes in sterile
it's
packaging.
in a package.
I sprayed it off with sanitizer.
It's still on it. And then he packaged it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. He pulls it out. Hey, it was.
Yeah, I can't wait until what's next week with Hello Jeff and Jim's No Nut November care package.
Can't wait.
Bundle it. Jack Sparrow at hobby.com.
Again, why would you hire Jack Sparrow for a party? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Because you want Jack Sparrow there.
Maybe you're a big Jack Sparrow fan.
Don't get
Or
see-
Johnny Depp.
You're asking the wrong questions, Jason.
Why wouldn't you hire Jack Sparrow for your party?
I mean, if you can't think of a good reason not to do it, you got to go ahead and do it.
No. Anyways, moving on.
All right. As usual, I see. During my prolonged absence, nothing changes.
Nope.
We start off with that one guy.
Number one fan?
Yeah,
7.
A-Pan,
formerly known
something
as
name?
yeah,
Big D.
Big D. That's right. Doug.
Dog.
Prop store. What?
Brian wasn't here to say it.
Oh. Prop store has an entertainment memorabilia auction going on now, and the suit from the Phantom can be
Slam
bid
Evil.
on for £10,000.
Of what?
Oh, we don't know. 10,000 pounds.
Right.
Is that gold? Is that stones?
No, that's British money.
Oh. What would you do with that costume, and how much above the asking price would you spend?
Shouldn't have the intern put like the pound symbol instead of
The
Yeah.
pound?
Jack Sparrow wasn't here this week.
10,000 pounds of silver?
You know what? For intern fax machine did a pretty good
I
job
will
with it.
say how much above asking price that I'm willing to spend is negative $10,000.
So you're still owing money
Oh,
in the
yeah,
international
that's
exchange
pound.
rate.
Negative 10,000
Well, I don't know.
pounds.
Hold on. The dollar has gained on the pound with their crises.
Yeah, I don't think
over
we've
there.
caught it yet.
And their spin the chair prime minister seat.
Excuse me.
I'm the prime minister next week.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Awesome.
You don't
plan
even
on-
have to be a citizen to be prime minister
No, I
anymore.
plan on holding on to it for 28 minutes.
Oh, yeah. You're running under the No Nut November party.
No, not November party.
You've already done more than the last 3 prime ministers.
2. Last 2.
That's true, Boris, you know.
He has better hair, though. Jim does.
Yes, much better. Much better. I'm running for queen, so it's okay. No, the band.
Nobody
The band.
elected you queen.
We already know you're a terrible bard. You will go well in Queen.
You know, I think you're the front line for Jester.
I didn't vote for you. You don't vote for your king.
Ooh, I guess Jester.
for the king.
I guess Jester can be a form of bard if you play
Yeah.
it that way. Maybe he would be a good bard.
Maybe you would.
50-50 shot now. Incompetent artificer.
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 Bring up
Arsifarser.
that word, Jeff, because he's going to struggle
Oh,
with
no.
it forever.
Sucky Bard's in front.
Suck you bard.
They just keep going back and forth.
He's a suck you bard.
Those are the worst type of bards.
He sings and drains your life force.
Anyways, moving on.
Now, the Phantom, isn't that who had Kato?
That was Billy Zane.
Oh, Billy Zane?
No, Kato was the Green Hornet.
Oh, the Green Hornet.
Billy Zane slammed evil. Boom.
Only the Phantom knows.
It was in the 90s, and who
yeah.
did who did he face as his villains? Pirates. What?
Jack Sparrow?
No, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh.
Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, yeah, you know, Doug Drabeck,
Yeah.
You mean former pirates?
Bob Walk.
Because I think they were no longer pirates when the movie came out.
Not about that.
I love when Mike LaValliere took him down.
DonSlaught was there too.
Yeah.
DonSlaught is just an awesome bad guy name.
Yeah,
DonSlaught.
and they ruined it with him being a baseball player. What up?
Should have been a linebacker.
No, should have tried to take over the world.
Safety.
He would have been a good GI Joe character.
I was going to say Bond villain.
Oh, what's your name? DonSlaught.
One word.
DonSlaught.
Married to Dada Slit. I'm going with the Bond theme.
Wow.
Get out. Get out.
Wow.
Get out.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on.
What else you got from Brad? I hope that answers the question, Doug. Slam Evil.
So I don't think anybody's willing to pay anything for that.
I would walk around all day with that. It's such a horrible film.
Would
but
you
he
dress
would
up
not
for Halloween?
hire. He would not hire somebody to come to his party.
Well, no, I'm not hiring Jack Sparrow.
But
That's only for like
That's right.
3 hours. This Phantom
but
thing
he
is
will
for life.
buy the Phantom costume and just walk around.
Yes.
That's right.
It's an extra small, too, so that's going to be really uncomfortable.
Then no one will invite you to their parties
Oh, no.
because you show up as the Phantom. Why didn't you invite the Phantom to your party?
That sounds like a very bad Saturday Night Live skit. Just shows up in the Phantom outfit. Yo, hey,
Why'd you invite the Phantom? I didn't.
slam evil! I'm going to slam these chips. It's a shame that movie didn't take off.
It's going to be the next big franchise.
You know, he was going to be the next Scott Speedman, too. Maybe Scott Speedman is supposed to be the next Billy Zane. I don't know.
Billy Zane is just an incredibly handsome man.
He is. His eyes.
He uses eyeliner.
These eyes.
I mean, even
Rose was an idiot.
yeah.
Just saying. Moving on. What else we got?
I should look up Billy Zane's IMDb list and compare it to Tim Curry.
He's got 812.
Yeah, probably.
They were all in China, though.
Yeah. Next one is from...
Wasn't Billy
Zoolander.
Zane, was Billy Zane in the Boys?
I think he was.
Was he the one
yeah.
at the convention or whatever?
Yeah, he was.
with-
He was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
Wasn't he the one of the siblings? No, I'm getting
No, he was
mixed-
playing
I'm getting mixed
himself
up.
at the
Oh, he's
convention.
playing himself at the convention. Billy Zane.
What else we got?
It was in Tombstone.
181,
Yeah, he was.
181 acting credits.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
wasn't
a jerk in Tombstone.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, he's a minor character.
He was,
in
he was
Tombstone.
the actor.
Oh wait, who am I thinking?
He
of?
played Alistar Adna in The Boys.
Okay, no,
3
Yeah,
episodes.
who?
3 episodes.
He wasn't. He didn't play the.
Yeah, who played that guy?
Played the
Yeah, I was thinking
sheriff,
the,
but the
yeah, well,
This is really good
guy who was
podcasting.
part of the anti-Chinese league.
yeah. the guy who was he a politician?
Politician, yeah. It was the welcome wagon.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, Bill
Yeah,
Zane,
so-
Bill
Bill
Zane
Zane was the actor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they could have avoided that entire subplot of.
he was P.T. Barnum in DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm P.T. Barnum.
Zoolander, he played Billy Zane.
Oh.
He had a stretch.
Zoolander 2.
Yeah.
That's a shame that movie didn't take off.
No, he was in Zoolander.
Yeah, and Zoolander
Yeah.
2, yeah. I'm just saying the far superior film, Zoolander
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Can
Yeah. So,
we go on?
so Brad of the Cinema Guys podcast says, "What's your favorite Billy Zane role in movies?"
Community. He was Honda Boss. Really liked him.
He was Honda boss.
In Community 2015.
Oh, the Honda. That's right. Yeah.
That's right. You know, and at the Princess Theater, the Cinema Guys are hosting Billy Zane 2023 Film Fest.
Yes.
We're right until proven wrong.
Yes. Titanic is going to be there.
He was in Titanic. That's right.
Avril Lavigne, Rock and Roll. He was Mr. Rock and Roll in that music video. They're showing Titanic : deleted scenes. Let's see, The Kill Hole, which is also, they didn't have to change the name for the porn either.
Okay, let's move on. What is Steve from EILFM?
I don't know. I
have
think
to
we should
say?
just sit here reading people's IMDb pages for an hour and a
The
half.
Scorpion King 3 Battle Up for Redemption.
It's the IMDb podcast. No, that really wasn't Brad's question, but it's for Jack Sparrow. But we can ask that next week.
Yes, that's right.
From Steve, I feel like there's a promotion here. Steve at EILFM says, "Where can I get some sweet buttons and magnets like you guys had at the expo? Is there a promo code I can use?"
Jim, is there a promo code?
I think there is. I think you can get them from Untidy Venus.
Oh.
On
On Etsy.
On Etsy, and if you use a promo code Hobie Pod, you'll get
20%, I believe.
Off. Ooh,
Yeah. Same code that you use on Hello Jeff.
If you use the same code as Hello Jeff, you can get a EIFM button and magnet with your Hello Jeff and your Jim's No Nut November care package.
I like this. Next year for the expo, the magnets are going to be EILFM and Hello Jeff. I like it.
Can they also do emblematic cock rings?
That's too much.
What we'll do is
Anal bead.
the on the pins or whatnot, they'll be round, so the edge of it will be a
You can
ring.
pop them out.
No.
You can pop your magnet out and create your own.
Pass. Okay, from Callie at Dehumanization, hashtag Harlan at Callie Goth.
/ You forgot the / Sorry. Yeah, Cali Dehumanization / Harlan at Caligoth. Hey, I wonder, is this related to the Harlan that we met at the Comic Expo? Brian and I met a listener, Harlan, who brought his box of instant mashed potatoes for signature and autograph by...
Oh, Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss, that's right.
I thought
No,
I'm
his role of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, Brian and I did offer to sign it, but he told us no.
And then he...
I thought it was
reserved
what
for
he got from
Dreyfuss.
his Hello Jeff box
Did Richard
in
Dreyfuss
June.
Did Richard Dreyfuss sign it, though? That's the question.
He would have signed
Yes.
anything.
Really?
Yeah, well, we'll have, maybe Harlan can
It might
identify
be.
himself from Indiana and ask if he got his box of mashed potatoes signed. Instant mashed potatoes.
When he got his signature, he was going to bring in his
Pet shark.
but it's a he's allowed to have it because it has a vest.
Oh, it's a service
support.
It's
service
a
shark.
service shark. It's
Service
a service
shark,
pet.
yep.
So he's going to have a service shark signed by Richard Dreyfuss.
I like that. I like it.
He's going to need a bigger boat.
Bigger aquarium.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Cali _dehumanization
Yes.
/ Harlan at Caligoth. What's your Halloween movie guilty pleasure?
Halloween 4. It's vastly underrated. Really like Halloween 4. And I like Halloween H2O. So I'm going with those two. 13 Ghost. Another good.
Oh, I was about to say, is this specifically
No. I'm just...
from the Halloween series,
Maybe.
or just movies to watch at Halloween time?
13 Ghosts is with Tony Shalhoub. Very vastly underrated. Really enjoy it.
He's no Tony Danza.
I'll go Coraline.
Oh, that is creepy, though. That's creepy.
That's a guilty pleasure?
Yeah, it's kind of under the radar, though.
It's really under the radar.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't feel guilty about watching Coraline other than being freaked out by.
Ew.
Yeah.
Boo.
I'm really getting into the A24, the independent filmmaker stuff. And so, they're the ones that did Midsummer, Lighthouse, Green Knight, Ex Machina, all that kind of. So I don't like the flat out slasher stuff, but the recent one that they had, X, I did watch that.
How was that?
It's pretty kinky. I will have to say the storyline is a group of young dudes with a film producer rent out a rural farmhouse to film their new. Oh, it's going to be great VHS on porn on VHS.
You're fine.
Okay.
Green room's empty.
Yeah, all right.
You're fine.
Porn on VHS, and it's rented out from this old couple that's obviously very elderly. And of course, you got the storyline with the group and the interplay there, and then of course the old people get involved. And I don't want to give it away if you haven't watched X, but it's okay. I wasn't as fascinated with it as I was with Mia Goth. I think I have a new Mia Goth fetish, I guess. But on top of that, is it as good as Midsummer or The Lighthouse? I would say no, but it is good, yes. And actually, I guess enough people liked it. There's obviously a lot of skin in it, but Mia Goth. But anyways, people liked it so much that they're doing an origin story.
They did it already.
Yeah, they
released
filmed it.
Pearl.
They just did the release. Yeah, the trailer called Pearl. And so I don't want to give away who it is if you haven't watched it yet. And you
Mini
like
Pearl.
scary movies. It's not Mini Pearl.
Hee-haw!
But it could be. You never know.
The story about that is he filmed it at the same time
Oh, yeah.
and basically didn't tell the studios. Like, he was just filming them back to back.
Yes, because Mia Goth does play her character, the young star, and she also plays the old lady.
Yeah.
So in the film. So the old lady is Pearl. So they're going to do like her origin story. Yes, that they filmed. I think they announced it at like Sundance or something.
Yeah, the story was that basically he went to the studio. He's like, "Thanks for liking X. I made this film too." Basically, they're like,
Wait a
"Okay,
minute, we paid for that too." Okay, but yeah, that's A24.
yeah."
I mean, I made a prequel out of all the stuff on the cutting room floor. Yeah,
It's here.
Filmed more of Mia Goth.
What else you got here?
How many times can you say Mia Goth?
Mia Goth. Mia Goth. You know, she's separated and I am getting divorced from Shia LaDouche.
Oh,
Because she was in the movie with him. Was it Nymphomaniac?
oh, okay.
There's a trend with her for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know. I just learned this person's name like 5 minutes ago.
I've heard it 18
Yeah, I
times.
know, exactly. And I messaged you guys
Mia Goth?
about it too. Yeah,
Yes.
of course. I joked about it. So, anyways, yeah, Harlan, send us your thoughts about Mia Goth. All right, Professor number one and Doctor number one. If you were in charge of DC Films, what 3 to 5 films would you greenlight to kick off a rebooted universe?
Because James Gunn and somebody else are taking over. They finally got people.
Yeah.
What 3 to 5 films would you greenlight? Black Manta, The Atom,
No.
Plastic Man.
No.
Start new.
The Wonder Twins.
Oh yeah, bring Archie back in.
Wonder Man.
Yeah, they were supposed to make a Wonder
They are.
Twin.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that guy-
Wonder Man is
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
Oh,
the guy that
you're
that played Black Manta.
Let's see. Can we have a 4th reboot of Spider-Man? Oh wait, wrong genre.
So which ones would you do?
Do they have a Torch Boy in DC that we can?
We can make it. We can make it.
Mr. Stretch.
Yeah, his name is
Fantastic.
Torch Boy.
Mr. Fantastic.
I would do a what do you call it? Identity crisis film.
Where the Sue Dibney gets... Is it Sue that gets killed?
Yeah. So
They wanted Lois Lane to get killed, and the DC guys were too much of pussies to do it.
So they killed off a
Minor character.
a D-level character's
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah. And I think Plastic Man eventually dies in that too, doesn't he? No, he dies later. That's what it is. I think he dies during Blackest Night.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
The Wonder Twins.
No, they are in it. I like
Gleek?
that one.
Gleek, the origin story.
You could do Gleek. So you do Identity Crisis is the first one. Okay.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Would you have to build it up, or you just throw them out there?
Just don't put him out there.
Just put them out there.
Okay.
You don't have to build up. You don't need origin stories or anything. Just have the Legion of Doom running around causing chaos, and then the Super Friends. I'm sorry, the Justice League coming together to stop them.
I would do Apache Chief.
Yeah. And
The opening scene of Legion of Doom is them trashing a car.
Oh, Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy crushed car.
no, I like the way you're going there. Yeah, you do an Apache Chief movie.
Yep.
You do a samurai movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you do a Black Vulcan movie.
Great films. Let's do it.
The 3 characters they created for the Super Friends.
Yes.
because
That are
they needed-
not stereotypical of anything.
You know, in the Legion of Doom, you got to have that giant floating helmet that they all ride in.
I bought that playset for my kids like 5 years ago, and my wife's like, "Why are you buying this?" I was like, "Because I want it.
It's the Legion of Doom.
I'm buying it." And it's a very bad playset too. Like they have a snake that moves up and down, and they have like an
'Cause
elevator.
everyone knows snakes move side to side.
It moves up and down, and like going up in the air, and then they have an elevator and they have a cannon. It's really weak, really very disappointing.
Some money well spent.
Well, yeah, it feels good.
The Legion of Doom spaceship that looked like a Darth Vader helmet.
It did.
Yeah. They're trying to cash in on that Star Wars. Was that made by Kenner? Kenner's like,
They did. Kenner did.
Well, we got this Darth Vader helmet thing we haven't used yet. Let's use it for Legion of
Kenner
Doom.
did make the superpowers.
Just cut the bottom off.
The toy figure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember when that version of Super Friends started.
80s, early 80s.
Was it 80s?
Yeah. 85 was the superpowers toy line. So I would say 84.
Oh, no, I gotta look it up.
You know, I think I would actually do, in all honesty, a Green Lantern story, and bring a lot of different characters into it, aliens and all that, and planets and that, like different planets and that. I think you could make that, and I think that would look really good. I know they're making an HBO Max series, but they just changed everything on it. It was supposed to be about Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, and now they changed it to Jon Stewart, not the comedian.
I would have to do the Flash and then bring back Ezra Miller.
Liar.
Okay, no, I wouldn't.
I think you should do a Flash. They just edit out Flash, and everybody's just talks like he's there. Just talk like him. Instead of having the Flash in there, cut him out and just do one of those like air things that go back and forth at like car dealerships, the big tall ones.
Yeah. But have stuff happen.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want a sandwich. Flash, can I? Oh, thanks.
Oh, he moves so fast you don't see him.
Well, hold on.
So you don't have to get an actor for him.
Well, hold on. Like the Crow, does Ezra Miller have like a brother or a life like this? They can CGI super implant him into the role.
Oh, let's see. Where's Paul Walker's brother at these days?
Yeah,
Just put him in it.
Yeah,
just put Paul Walker's brother
I
in.
like that. It's like you're getting ready to get hit by a villain, and all of a sudden they're gone, and you turn around and say, "Thanks, Flash." Yeah,
I'm fine with this.
The Flash movie where there is no Flash. He does stuff.
The Flash DoorDash edition.
Instead of
DoorDash edition.
Instead of Ezra Miller, we get his brother T.J. Miller.
Oh, well, he's not doing Deadpool.
Kicked out of the Justice League for inappropriate behavior with minors. The Flash joins DoorDash.
I don't want you coming to my house.
Yeah, the challenge of the Super Friends, which was I think the first time they did the Legion of Doom, was September 9th of 1978.
Okay.
So
the toy line was 84 and 85.
Well, that was a completely different toy line, so I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
done with you.
You said, you said it was the Superpower Collection. I'm talking about the challenge of the Super Friends.
Give me some news of the geek music, Jeff.
Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum.
We actually have music we could do, but that's
Can we start off News of the Geek with the zingers? Aren't we supposed to eat
let's do
these?
that. We got a food challenge this week.
Yeah.
It's not really a
Zingers.
challenge.
So I figured, since we talked about Zingers last week and I saw them in the store, they only had the chocolate. Mm-hmm. So our food challenges, since there really are no new flavors of Oreo or Chips Ahoy or
very
anything,
disappointing.
I'm going to pick up processed snack cakes from our childhood. And we'll try those and see how they
See if they still last.
If they're as good as we remembered. Well,
Okay.
for some of us they will because we beat them last week.
I'm going to say,
This looks a lot smaller.
am I just because I'm bigger now? Because this is
I think it might be that.
barely a bite.
I would say extra chocolatey. I haven't had these in years.
And I'm going to have to compare this. Is this Zinger just going to be because it's now made by Hostess, not the Don Madison Company?
Not enough cream yet.
So I'm just wondering if this
You got to bite into it.
if this Zinger is going to taste more like the Hostess chocolate cakes. Mm-hmm. I can already tell they did it wrong because I'm looking at the bottom of my Zinger where they pumped in the cream
Instead of the middle.
Well, they pumped the cream in the top and then put the layer of frosting on top of it. Is how the old Zingers did it.
Not this way.
They're doing it the Hostess way of filling it in from the bottom.
And the icing doesn't pull off this as easy as it did on
No, the icing is definitely not as, I don't know, thick is the right textured maybe? The texture on the icing is not as good.
Aren't they missing any Peanuts characters on the box too?
Oh, they're definitely missing those. But I don't think Hostess has the rights to them.
I think the chocolate,
Tastes like a King Don.
I think the chocolate.
What's the cupcake with that
Ding dong
layer of chocolate on it where you can
Well,
peel it off literally with the little white
cupcakes.
squigglies?
Hostess cupcake.
Yeah.
Cupcake.
It tastes like a Hostess cupcake. Yeah, you're right.
Cupcake.
Yeah, if I close my eyes, that's what it tastes like.
I close my eyes.
I don't think that's the right cream
She said.
that I remember from my childhood and Zingers.
I think the chocolate is good, but I agree with you. Like it's,
It just tastes like a Hostess cupcake.
yeah.
It's Hostess making it look like the Zingers,
Yeah.
but
Do better, Hostess.
If a circle tasted like a rectangle, this is it. Or if a rectangle tasted like a circle.
I don't care about the first one as much, the first story, so we're going to go on. Per the Tampa Bay Times, where Blake gets all of his news from, in the late 1990s, when Florida bikers were still required to wear helmets, Lou Pinella's lawyer, Ron Smith, was an aggressive advocate for overturning the law. Smith was...
oh Jesus! I'm like, Lou Pinella? What the?
Smith was a member
Or is that Pineas?
Whatever. Smith was a member of ABATE, a brotherhood against Go ahead, Blake, say that.
Totalitarian?
Enactments and American bikers aimed toward education.
It's a bait.
Yeah. ABATE, which lobbied against the law for years. Smith represented clients who ran afoul of Florida's motorcycle requirements in court cases that some say helped overturn Florida's helmet law. Time out. Florida doesn't have a helmet law? I'm shocked. Smith didn't
Neither does Ohio.
Smith didn't like being told what to do and valued his independence, said Dave Newman, who met the attorney through an American Legion post in Old Town, where they were both members. Quote, he thought everybody should have their own choice. In 2000, Smith's aspiration was realized when Florida legislation passed a law allowing motorcyclists over 21 to go without head protection as long as they had $10,000 in insurance coverage for motorcycle accident injuries. In August, Smith and his girlfriend, Brenda Gianin Volpe, there you go, were riding a motorcycle on US 19 in Lou Pinellas County.
Pineas.
They were headed to a memorial service for another biker who had died of cancer. Smith crashed a bike as he tried to slow for traffic ahead of him. Both him and his girlfriend were killed, and neither were wearing a helmet. He lost control of his bike.
If wearing a helmet would have kept them alive, is that in the story?
We're going to get there.
All right.
Smith's motorcycle started spinning clockwise, and the bike collided with a trailer attached to a pickup truck at another lane. That's a horrible way to go out.
All right. I do have, they talk about it. Mm-hmm. I've witnessed a motorcycle on the highway in front of me spin out, lose control, and crash, and horrible things happen. If you've ever seen that live, has anybody seen that live?
No.
Nope.
If you've ever seen it live, you'll swear you'll never ride a fucking motorcycle.
I used to write estimates on motorcycles back in my early days. And I swore never to ride a motorcycle after that either, because I would say 9 out of 10 motorcycle accidents that I would write estimates for, they were all dead.
Yeah.
The one was somebody basically had to protect their 10-year-old son, and he died. The dad died because he sacrificed himself to protect his son.
Yeah, the one I saw, he lost control of his motorcycle, spun, and literally hit the back of a van head on. Boom. Yeah. And I'll tell you what. And the other thing is, I've talked to motorcyclists, and of course, in the military, this is a big deal too, because a lot of the guys coming back from Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan, they're addicted to the adrenaline rush, that kind of stuff. So what's the easy way to get that? A motorcycle, go 1,000 miles per hour on the highway. But anyways, regardless of all that kind of stuff, I talk to motorcyclists and I'm safe. I wear a helmet. And I was like, oh yeah. I'm not going to question your ability to ride a motorcycle.
Correct.
It's the fucking assholes on the road that you have to worry about, and the stupid cars. Because anytime a motorcycle gets in front of me, I immediately back up 10 lengths. Yep. I'm slowing down because, especially this morning, it was wet out. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I back up, and there's the assholes that get right behind the motorcycle. I'm like, dude, if he loses control, you're running right over him.
Yep.
And the other, all that kind of stuff. But
we're not against motorcycles.
I'm not against it.
But I would never do it.
The Sunday motorbiker gang where you're riding country roads in a group of 20, okay, that's fine. But, the highway stuff and everything else, I don't care how safe you are. It's the other asshole you got to worry about, or the other dipshit in driving the car. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's impossible to say whether a helmet would have prevented their deaths, experts say. Smith's autopsy report lists blunt head trauma as cause of death, and initial report from Hillsborough Medical Examiner's Office lists his girlfriend's cause of death as head trauma.
Well, there you go. It may have been reduced, but it may not have saved their lives anyways.
Eric Toe, who has researched motorcycle safety at the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, said, quote, it's entirely possible that if they were wearing a helmet, they might have survived. But again, we can't say for sure. It certainly would have improved their odds. Helmets, unquote, helmets decrease the risk of death for motorcyclists by 37%, according to the study by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They are estimated to be about 41% effective for motorcycle passengers, and in states without helmet laws, 57% of motorcyclists who died in 2020 were not wearing a helmet. They were wearing a mask, compared to 11% of motorcyclists in states with helmet laws. Florida's death rate increased by 25% after its helmet law was repealed. So there you go.
The other thing I laugh about, well, I don't laugh about it, I look at it with concern, I respect motorcyclists who are wearing the full body gear, because the other things I watched
Road
guys
rash.
guys and girls riding motorcycles in shorts and t-shirts. I'm like,
Yes.
you're going to lose literally pounds of flesh if you skid.
Correct.
Yeah. What's that? Awesome helmet. Yeah, that's good.
What's the helmet?
Animal.
Oh, I've seen that one. The
I like
animal
this
helmet.
good. If you're going to ride a helmet, you don't want to, well, pick a good one, like Animal.
Yes, like Animal.
In other news, I don't care about the next
Well,
one.
I do like, since the intern wasn't here, I do like the numbering of our articles
stories?
and News of the Geek. We have 1, 3, and 5. Did we forget even numbers?
Fax Machine does not like even numbers. Number 5, per comicbookmovie.com.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow only counts by 1, 3s, and 5.
Per comicbookmovie.com, where Jim gets all of his news from. When R.I.P.D., the film, was released in 2013. Oh my God, it was in 2013. It was met with terrible reviews, 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
And despite boasting two impressive leads in Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, the movie grossed only $78 million on a budget of over $130 million. So the sequel is pretty much gone. But you know what? A decade later, they're like, hey, you know that Ripped? Can we get that movie as a sequel now?
Does it have Torch Boy in it?
We can make it.
They must have heard an episode of Boardroom.
Ripped?
Of course, the guys who starred in Ripped aren't going to be back.
No. Ripped 2, Rise of the Damned has been rated by the MPAA and appears to be heading straight to DVD. Do they make DVDs anymore? As you might expect, neither Reynolds nor Bridges will reprise their respective roles.
Yes, they make DVDs because physical media matters.
Yeah. And then, as you said, in the center of Wrexham, Wales, there's a DVD shop.
There's a DVD shop.
Welcome to Wrexham.
Yep.
Well, soon as whatever you want to watch is no longer available on streaming services.
Yeah, but you can't have the NTSC American version to watch.
Oh, you gotta get the PAL version.
You got to get the
Yes.
PAL. Yeah, see.
I actually, since my oldest son was in the hospital 2 weeks ago, as a present to him, I bought him a Wrexham shirt.
I want one. I want a Wrexham kit.
I didn't get a jersey because they're almost impossible to find, but I got him
what?
Kit.
Okay.
I got him a Wrexham T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he really
a
liked it.
T-shirt.
I wouldn't come close to getting one. I won't support TikTok.
TikTok make you jump.
Yeah, that's the only problem. TikTok's on there.
I would
Maybe-
rather get a Greyhounds.
I'll do Wrexham. I like it.
AFC Greyhounds.
AFC Rich.
I did like in Wrexham that they're like, oh, here's a kits for next year. Oh, I guess we're not doing green. Yes. Rob's like, oh, I guess we're not doing green. Damn it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The whole series when it ended, I was like, that's pretty sad. But I am.
They're coming back for a second season.
But you brought it up too. I watched that match. They're the FA Cup matches.
Yeah.
The Wrexham on ESPN too.
Yeah. My son, when he was in the hospital, we were flipping through. And he's
Yeah.
like, Dad, I'm so done with pit bulls and parolees. I need something.
Yeah.
And we were going through. I was like, oh my God, that's Wrexham.
Yeah.
And he's like, leave it on. It was a fun match.
And
to
the
watch.
best part is watching the team. Well, I looked them up to see how they're doing this year.
Yeah.
So
They're
but
doing better.
The best part was watching that match and trying to identify players that they kept.
Yes.
Or players that left. And I'm like,
did
oh my
that.
God, where's their 2 stars? And they brought them in. I was like, oh, there they are.
We were watching that too, and my son was like, dang it, Dibble's still here. That goalie, God, get him out of there.
Well, did Leighton get? Was he healthy enough to play this
Nope,
year?
not yet.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
They said it's taking a lot longer than they thought.
Well, obviously, it was supposed to be ready for the start
Yeah.
of the season.
And then they still have Paul Mullen and the Irish.
Smith.
Yeah, the other guy, Mullen, and they put him in at the end of last 30 minutes or whatever.
And the local guy.
Oh,
It's great to see he's still on the team too.
he got the game-winning goal.
Yeah, Davies, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, or game one. But Jim, you said who needs Ryan Reynolds? You know who we got? Richard Fleischman, Jake Choi, Carrie Knoop, and Stephanie Levi John, picking up where they left off. Chick Fight director Paul Leedon, and he fell, is helming Ripped sequel and penned the screenplay along with Andrew Klein, who did MacGyver.
He fell from Chick Fight.
Chick Fight was about the peak.
Is RIPD 2 much worse than Chick Fight?
Yes.
I like how they list all the actors and then in parentheses, all relative unknowns.
Yes. And comicbookmovie.com. It's a little surprising that this is the first we heard of the movie, though you have to believe it probably won't be very good. Let's see here.
Bypassing theaters and being on DVD, the PAL version.
Way back in 2015, Reynolds expressed disappointment with the adaptation of the Dark Horse comic book series, admitting that he didn't think carefully before joining the cast. Quote, take Ripped, for example.
Like Green Lantern?
Yeah. Is this a popcorn bubblegum romp? Is this a slightly subversive take on zombie culture? He said of the questions. It was more like, whoa, cool, Jeff Bridges. There's some jokes in there that really work for me. And that's why he signed up. So, there you go. Catch Ripped on TBS in like 3 months. Maybe FX.
Yeah, you probably will never see it broadcast or streamed. You'll have to buy it on...
I watched the original. It's not good. Yeah. It's not good. Jeff, give me some box office news and world report.
The box office news from October 21st, 2022 to October 23rd, 2022. Coming in at number 1 for the second straight week, Black Adam made another...
Those dates are incorrect.
Those dates are incorrect. Why did you give me incorrect
fax
dates?
machine.
God, I hate this fax machine. I read what's written.
It's the worst.
So, last weekend, not those dates I said earlier, Black Adam made another $27.7 million, a total of $111 million, on a budget of $195 million.
It's $230 million, I think, worldwide. So,
$11 million. Yep. Ticket to Paradise came in at $10 million, a total of $33.7 million on a $60 million budget. Pray for the Devil made $7 million in its opening weekend on an unknown budget.
It's Pray with an E.
Yes. Yep. We discussed that last week. Sorry.
Yeah, got to pray just to
maybe that's what was in my head.
Smile made $5 million, a total of $92.5 million on a $17 million budget.
That's impressive.
That's a good payback.
Yeah.
Return on investment there. And Halloween Ends made another $3.8 million, a total of $60.3 million on a $20 million budget.
They said that was disappointing, but they're still happy. I was like, you still made $40 million budget.
Yeah, you made back 3 times your budget.
And in theory, you drove people to Peacock, in theory, because that's where it's at. And it made $95 million total worldwide, like between the two. So I was like, you still made a pretty good chunk there.
And when you reboot the series in 10 years...
Not even 10 years. They already got a new character already lined up.
This is the end.
Sure. Can we talk about one thing real quick? Terrifier 2, the gory horror film that people are amazed by. Supposedly,
is this the one where people are getting sick in the theater or whatever?
If you go on social media, they show like some of the most gruesome scenes, and I saw one, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty impressive and pretty disgusting. Good for it, though, because... Art the Clown in it. It's all like old-fashioned special effects. It's a horror movie that they basically, pretty gruesome kills. But it's all special effects.
By old-fashioned, they just killed people?
Yes, that's exactly. It's like the Salem witch trials. Made for $250,000 because Terrifier was a popular film in 2016, DVD. It has now made $7.9 million. It's on Screambox, which is like a service you can subscribe to. It just went on there yesterday. And basically, they had no marketing, nothing.
It's all word of mouth.
Yep. They decided to put it out the first weekend just as shits and giggles, like, hey, we'll just put it out there. And it made $1.8 million. And so ever since then, New York Times had a 2-page spread on it. Variety is doing a huge thing about how this little film has made so much money.
Free publicity.
And it's all
power of word of mouth.
Yep.
And the cinema guys mentioned it on their interview on channel
They did.
12.
They did.
I think it was 12.
But they went from like 5 theaters and they kept getting bigger and bigger. And now I think this weekend they had 1,500 theaters that were showing it at.
Thank you, cinema guys.
Yes. Thank you, Justin. Thanks for showing up. See what happens when you show up, Justin? Anyways, but yeah, so congratulations, Terrifier 2. I'm a horror fan, but like as I've gotten older, I'm kind of like, I kind of got out of it a little bit, outside of a few. And I saw the things online, like on to Twitter, like some of the scenes, I'm like, it's probably not my cup of tea. But it's still impressive. Like, I'm supporting it because it's an independent film, $250,000, and they're making a shit ton of money on it. And it's the number one Blu-ray on Amazon for pre-release right now, pre-orders.
Is that Blu-ray, NTSC, or PAL?
PAL.
All depends on where you buy it.
That's right. But number one for pre-orders right now. So good for it. So obviously Terrifier 3 is coming out. And there's talk that they're trying to get it for an Oscar for special effects. And they keep trying to do it, and people have started picking up on it.
The thing is, to get nominated for an Oscar, you have to be nominated from the people that are in the Academy
Correct.
in that category. So the people, you'd have to get the people already in the business who do special effects to say, this was so good,
Yep.
we're going to nominate these people that, have no connections. If they do that, then
It would be
more power
unbelievable.
to them. But for the most part, people are going to nominate the people
Correct.
they know.
Well, the writer, director, and like the producer, those guys have been like on Twitter, like shocked by the popularity of this. And they're like, we know it was popular, like on the independent cult following, but
Yeah.
they're like, to even be thinking that people are now like, Terrifier 2 for Oscars is trending is hilarious. They're like, thank you. Like, that's amazing. So, good for that film. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Upcoming November 4th, 2022. That date's correct.
Yes.
We have Armageddon time.
What time is it, Jeff?
It's Armageddon time.
Is that based on the Clash song Armageddon Time?
No, it's based off of the Def Leppard song Armageddon.
No,
I only have one Armageddon.
I don't think any of you guys are correct here.
Get it, the Trevor?
I got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
But you're going to talk about your No Nut November care package?
I'll do a one-handed clap in honor of Armageddon. Okay, moving on. So, top 5 this week.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what Armageddon Time's about.
Apparently, none of you guys want to hear what it's about, so I'm not going to say it.
Do you need a hug?
Well, I was getting ready to say, yeah, let me have it, one arm, yeah.
You know, when he said he's going to demonstrate the cock ring, he must have it on now, and that must be the source of his frustration.
It's one day into November. Jeez.
It's rough.
Jim's like, I've been doing this for 12 years. Sorry, Jim. I apologize. Go ahead.
If anybody else would care about what Armageddon Time is about, it's about a deeply personal coming-of-age story about the strength of family and the generational pursuit of the American dream.
I wrote down plot lines once.
Starring Anne Hathaway, Jeremy Strong, Anthony Hopkins.
I heard of these people.
All relatively known actors.
Unlike people in
R.I.P.
R.I.P.D., which we talked like a half hour about.
It would have been better if R.I.P.D. 2 and this switched cast. That might have been better. Blake, what's your top 5 tonight?
Top 5 worst things to get trick-or-treating on Halloween.
I was trying to be specific on this for you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was going to say, honorable mention, anything with coconut.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take all the coconut if you don't
have
want
it.
it.
Yeah.
Good. Blake, what's your number 5?
Number 5, the house that gives out pennies or nickels instead of candy.
I think I was on my list. Hold on. Let me get my list here. Yep, I had pennies, number 5.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Number 4 for you, or 5 for you, Jim.
Toothbrushes.
Is this a thing? I've heard a couple of people say this.
Yeah, people.
Dentists? Is
Yeah.
it from the dentist
People who
house?
think, oh, these kids are getting all this candy, we should give them something healthy or something that they can. Yeah, there are freaky people that will give you.
Okay. Did you ever get one, Jim?
Toothbrushes.
Yes.
Growing up, you did? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Number 5 for me was pennies.
Number 5 for me is chlamydia.
My number 2 is STDs.
I heard you guys talking about me and chlamydia last
How is
week. She's great. I could toss that shit around, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As you used to say, and that's the second time I got herpes.
That's right. Put it on the board, Jeff. Number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is a traffic citation.
After you hit the kids or on
At
Halloween
any
night?
time.
After you're at that adult party
Jaywalking.
with Jack Sparrow.
Jaywalking.
Number 4 for me, Tootsie Rolls. I hate those. Like the rolled up ones, not the long log
Like
ones.
the rolled up ones. They're all rolled up. They're
No,
Tootsie
It's in the
Rolls.
name.
You have the log ones too. The log ones.
And you know they taste the same.
No. Tootsie Roll, the small ones. I don't like those. It's like Bit O' Honey.
What about the fruit Tootsie Rolls?
Oh God.
Oh wait, is Bit-O Honey later on your list?
No.
Then why are you comparing Tootsie Rolls to Bit-O Honey unfavorably when
My number 4 is also I hobied it. Bit O' Honey.
Honey.
they're like Tootsie Rolls?
They're like Tootsie Roll.
Number 4, Jim.
Coupons.
Oh,
Someone give coupons.
McDonald's coupons came
coupons.
out all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. You know, it almost kind of
Great, 30% off green beans.
I thought you meant. Great 1 week of Hello Jeff.
You know, your number 4 almost goes with my number 4. My number 4 is slips of paper with Bible verses on them.
I remember those.
I didn't get any of those.
Without those, yep.
So that house got egged, right?
Oh yeah. Number 3.
Top 5 worst things about trick-or-treating on Halloween. The trend of schools banning costumes for Halloween.
It says worst things to get.
That's right. You're
Banned.
Wearing costumes.
Bans. That's right. Schools banning Halloween costume participations from kids.
This year, my kids' school did the Halloween costumes and everything on that Friday.
Yeah.
And so I asked my 6-year-old, I was like, what do you do on Halloween? He's like, nothing. I was like, I think they switched those, right? Like, you probably should have switched it.
Shouldn't you be wearing it on Halloween?
That's what my thought was. Number 3 for you, Jim.
Fruit.
Number 3
He
for
hobied
me.
it. He hobied it. All kinds of fruit.
All kinds of fruit.
I had oranges. We had neighbors that would give out oranges.
Or clementines.
Apples
I
is
like
weak
clementines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With razor blades?
Would add flavor.
Well, at least put caramel on them.
Number 3 for me was oranges. Go ahead.
Number 3 for me is a death curse. I hate it when people curse me.
Abacadabra.
You know, I have to do cinnamon and sugar. You're fine.
Number 2 for me is an embarrassing loss from the hometown team.
Wee day.
Man, that did suck.
Wee day. You're right. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm a gracious winner, though. I'm not rubbing it in.
No, you've got
I'm
every right to
surprised.
rub it in. The Browns whooped the shit out of the Bengals. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts.
I went to bed. It was like 8-0. What happened?
The Bengals secondary got hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Bengals scored 2 touchdowns.
Oh, so they won.
Garbage time.
I got enough points in fantasy to beat Shively.
Oh, okay.
Well, then it
Well,
was good.
let's
I
see.
had Nick Chubb.
He had a great night.
I had Derrick Henry and a wide receiver. I had 62 points just for those guys.
AJ Brown.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on. What number were you?
2.
Okay. Number 2 for me was STDs. Number
There
2
you
for
go.
you.
COVID.
But you're wearing masks.
Wrong.
You know, if you wore those masks from the 1970s and 80s, nothing was getting through those.
No, those are the,
You know, I
you
used
can't
to,
breathe in those.
remember the condensation that would build
yeah.
inside of those? Oh my God! All you have are their 2 little
sweat.
nose holes.
Yeah. Your face
my
is just
God.
pouring with sweat wearing them.
And then mom and
And if
dad
those
would...
rubber bands weren't ripping the hair out of the back of your head or
and
side
you get
of your
marks
ears.
in your ears.
Oh my God!
And mom and dad would keep those for every year for like 20 years. And you'd be like, Mom, the whole inside of this is disintegrated because of the sweat.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I saw a great black and white photo. It's like vintage photo of lost footage, lost footage found of a horror movie. And it was like a 1970s classroom with all those kids wearing those plastic masks.
These things were creepy.
They were. Now you think about it.
Number 2, or was your number 2, Jim?
Yeah, COVID was my number 2.
Number 2 for you?
My number 2. Going to number 3. The assholes that tell you your costume's not appropriate.
I picture now Blake walking around with a crop top.
He dressed up like like Woody from Toy Story, but
With chaps and no underwear.
Because chaps
Are assless by definition.
if they weren't, they'd be called pants.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 are just asshole kids. No, seriously. I saw it as all right. So your local neighborhood social media where on Nextdoor app, this guy posted, the Ring doorbells where they're not home, but they put pots of candy out for kids,
Yeah.
and like the first one comes in where the kids are old enough to know better, like 10 or 12 years old, and just empty out the entire cups. That happened to me when I moved into my old neighborhood, which was kid heavy. It was our first Halloween, and I'm trying to get to know everybody, and it starts at 6:00. I went and I got this big plastic, fake witches, kettle, and I probably had at least 400 pieces of candy in there. I was like, sorry, we're not home. Please take one piece. Happy Halloween. I put that on my front porch. I put the sign out there. I pull out of the driveway. I go to the end of the driveway. I leave the neighborhood. I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot something. I turn around. I come back in. It's like 6:03, and it's fucking empty. Fucking empty. From asshole kids.
Maybe you shouldn't be lazy
like
on
that.
Halloween and actually pass it out.
I saw.
Dude, I wasn't at home. I was trying to be a part of the neighborhood. I wasn't home, and here you go.
Blake didn't realize how to do it properly.
Yeah.
You get the bowl, and you put the take one sign on it, and put that on your porch, and leave.
Nothing in it.
No,
Put anything in it, that's
so everyone
right.
thinks you're trying to be
You're
nice
trying
to
to be
them, but
nice.
the asshole kids took all the
Exactly.
candy
I
already.
like how Blake's like, I'm trying to be part of the neighborhood by leaving.
Well, it's because of nieces, nephews, cousins, everybody with the kids going elsewhere. It's like I wasn't home in my neighborhood, and I didn't feel bad about it because it's not a kid-heavy neighborhood. Actually, the first 2 years, I had probably like 5 visitors. Of course, it was rainy and like 20 degrees. So this year, I just turned all the lights on and I left, and I did the Halloween with my grandson, 12-month-old grandson, and my son-in-law, and then daughter, and it was actually pretty nice because they were in a very kid-heavy neighborhood, and it was great. Kids come up and they put a big bowl out. It's like, help yourself, and they're like, take one. I mean, back in the old days, they take one. It's like, oh, that's great. If the little kid and they take 2, you let them take it.
Yeah.
When you're like 15 minutes before and the kids are coming around and you still have like 200 pieces, I'm like, hey, reach in, take a big handful. They're like, oh, wow, you're awesome. There you go. No, I don't want this shit. Take it, please. But not at 6:03 when you got, hour and a half to 2 hours of stuff. But it is pretty neat, though. If you go to, like, next door and stuff, like in my neighborhoods, the guy's, like, putting stuff. Is like, yeah, this is what happened to me. And he puts on the video of his next door doorbell,
The ring,
with the
yeah.
ring. And there's another one with the ring where it's like, the kid steals it and he flicks off the Ring doorbell camera. And it's just like, and some of the comments are like, oh, kids these days. And it's like, if it was a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, I could probably understand, like, oh my gosh, I hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Because they can't read, the sign or, but if they're the parents, they'd be like, hey, take one. Whatever. But, there's those 12-year-old kids or 13
saying, 4
who
or
know
5
better. They
year-olds
dump the
should
entire
have
thing.
parental
Yeah, they should have parental
supervision,
vision. But if they're like the 10 or 12 year, this is the great thing. So these like 12-year-old kids, take and empty it out, and they left one in there. Oh, and their little brothers were like, and they went in, took the one piece out, and gave it to him.
So they were thinking about others.
Yeah, exactly.
You sure it wasn't Jack Sparrow that was on your next door neighbor?
Even worse, I
great.
saw 4 or 5 videos online of adults.
Yeah. Doing the same thing?
empty.
Oh, yeah, adults emptying
That's
them.
bullshit, too,
They
man.
had one neighborhood that they got
All
the
right.
same lady emptying 5 people's bowls.
That's bullshit. All right, I'm changing my number 1. It's asshole kids and asshole adults. There you go.
Jim, what's your number 1?
Thank you.
My number 1's worse than anything I said so far. It's those orange or black wrapped candies that I have no idea what's
Those
in them.
generic things. Yes, you're absolutely
Give me
right.
all of those. I love those.
What?
The little peanut butter and they're
Aren't they kind of like bit of honey, except in a round?
Yeah.
I
Jim,
love them.
The
I would
razor
eat
blades
them
make it
all.
taste better.
Yeah.
I will. Anybody who doesn't like them, just send them my way.
Oh. My number
I did.
I know. I had a whole lot of them.
And look what
growing up.
happened to him. Good job, Jim. Jeez. My number 1 is spider rings. I fucking hate spider rings growing up. I don't like them now when my kids bring them home. I don't like them then. They're fucking pointless.
Do not want them here or
what about
there. I do
nutcrackers?
not want them anywhere.
What's that?
What about nutcrackers?
Nutcrackers, fuck that. But nobody gives those to me. Shut up. But spider rings, fuck those things.
There's still 7 nutcrackers hidden in your house.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there are.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Necco wafers.
My wife had a list.
Yes, Necco wafers is 3 higher than chlamydia.
My wife and my daughter, 8-year-old daughter, combined for a list.
All right.
There's a cure for chlamydia, but no, not Necco wafers.
You're just stuck with that shit forever. It's like getting a fruitcake on Christmas.
Well, if you got chlamydia, it's good to get to know her sister cholera as well.
My wife had, in no particular order, pennies. This is my wife and daughter. Generic candy, like you said, Jim.
Generic.
My daughter really hates pencils. Like people that give her
people
pencils.
do give
Oh,
pencils.
yeah, that's a bad one.
Yeah.
My daughter's also like, any candy, Dad, that has nuts in it. I was like, well, half.
Well, I passed that on to Jeff, too.
Yeah.
And my wife, she was very adamant about this one. Snack packs, like Ruffles or Cheetos. I came for the candy. And they would give away Cheeto bags.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is they work for the company that makes them, and they got a bunch of free samples.
Well, you were giving out that tequila beer, Jason.
Funny thing, I did give 2 crates to both my neighbors yesterday. Moving on, we had listener feedback here. Randall Holt, RJ Holt 666, not evil.
He's just handled that way.
Pennies, fuck off. Let's see here. TPC Cafe, Pop Culture Cafe. Well, the worst wants that unwanted enema. And he's like, I think my brain started to shut down. Let me try this again. The answer was so fucked up. My worst was the unwanted enema. That sounds better. Does it? I don't know if that really does.
Sea anemone?
Sea anemone?
Sea anemone?
An enema?
Yeah.
Enema? Who's giving
How
out
is it spelled
enemas?
here? Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know.
What are they doing in Canada giving out enemas for Halloween?
Here, hold this bag.
Now, if you bend over to pick that up.
Joe Sutman had toothbrush.
Joe Sutmanello.
Denise, Indiana's favorite nurse, said, I came to say a rock. That is all. We all know I will eat any candy.
I got a rock.
I'm there with you, Nisi, except for Necco wafers.
The Dit Man, your radio host in the morning,
Well,
97.7.
Ditman, 97.5 in the morning, the Ditman. Costume winner, number 1 in the Halloween contest in Cincinnati.
They were 2.
Oh, number 2.
They were runner-up.
The Dit Man had
First loser.
peanut butter, orange, and black taffy things.
There you go.
I'll take them all.
Bit o' honey,
I'll take those.
pennies,
Well, it's still money, so.
Narcan.
Narcan?
Narcan, sorry, not Narcan.
I don't think Narcan might be wanted by some people.
And a rock. So there you go.
Not a rock.
Just to let you guys know, we do have an update on that poll. Jim and Jeff and what's your name, Blake? Sucky
name is
Bard
Blake.
and Competent Artificer are at 40%, and Terrible Rogue is at 20%. So get those things in here.
Any votes for NPC?
No, not yet.
I love him as an NPC, as just Jason, the claims adjuster. I dented my armor. This covered.
That was during a battle. That's denied. That's a terrorist act.
That's right. Level 1 expert.
Jim, that's a terrorist act. Sorry, that's declined.
Damn it.
That was damaged in hobo killing.
Bad idea of the week, number 829, chick fight. Let's see here. Titles for the show. Jim, you got anything?
I have mocked by D&D people. I have DonSlaught, supervillain.
Like that.
I have Suck You Bard and Mon Mothra.
I think we've used that one before. Jeff?
I have Sucky Bards in front. I can't remember the reason for that, but I thought it was funny at the time.
Okay.
I only have one Armageddon.
You like that one?
You have to follow that with ba-dum-dum.
And there's a cure for chlamydia, not for Necco wafers.
I have Why is Jack Sparrow here? Pop Your Magnet. The Return of the Fax Machine. Slam Evil. And I Hate Death Curses.
Well, I do.
Anyone? What we got? What you got?
Anything, Blake? Anything?
I don't know.
What were yours again, Jim? I thought there was one you had that I liked.
DonSlaught, supervillain.
I like that one.
DonSlaught supervillain.
There you go.
Yeah.
Change approved. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets. There's a history, not so bad. There's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. History of bad ideas. Podcast.
You are listening to a Hobie.